Hey guys, I wanted to show you a couple of my go-to foods that I get pretty much on a weekly basis. We go grocery shopping 1 to 2 times a week, and these are all foods that I make, I have for snacks in between meals. Pretty much every day we'll eat at least 1 or 2 of these things. So I want to start with my favorite, which is the cinnamon and raisin Ezekiel bread. And I really like to toast this with some peanut butter. I love it. It's one of my favorites. Macros on this are 0 fat, 18 carbs, 3 protein, and 80 calories. There are tons of different kinds of bread that you can find at the grocery store. This is one I've been eating for such a long time. I just have stuck with it. I really like it. In fact, the only bread that I really ever eat is Ezekiel. And I typically will have 1 to 2 pieces a day. At this point, since I'm working in a caloric deficit, I don't have any more than 1, just because there are other things I'd rather have too. Like I really like fruit, so I don't want to spend all my calories just on bread and starchy carbs. So this would be one of my go-tos for bread. This week, what I've been having, I have this Light and Fit Dannon Light and Fit Greek yogurt pretty much every day. One of the little cups like this, and these are just 80 calories, 8 carbs, 12 protein, 0 fat. So these are 1 a day for me usually, and I've experimented this week with just the regular vanilla, and then I break up one of these Fiber One 90 calorie brownies into 1 cup of yogurt. So the yogurt is again pretty good with the macros, 130 calories, 0 fat, 13 carb, 18 protein for 1 cup. And I love this. I've experimented with various Greek yogurts. Some of them are a little bit sour for me, and this to me is just the perfect blend of sweet and sour. And then the Fiber One brownie to me I think tastes like a brownie. So anyway, these two I've been having for a snack together. Just kind of break it up, mix it into the yogurt, and this has just been a really amazing snack. So with that, the Skippy Natural Creamy Peanut Butter is what I use for my peanut butter, and with Ezekiel, what I do with the Ezekiel bread is I toast it, and I do a tablespoon of this. This is my favorite snack more than anything. Once a day at least. No, once a day. That's my max on this. This is something that I have to be very careful with. This is the White Chocolate Wonderful, but it's peanut butter mixed with white chocolate, and the macros are pretty decent for this. 2 tablespoons, 14 fat, 11 carbs, 6 protein, 180 calories. Pretty typical for peanut butter, except it's a little bit higher in carbohydrates, and it's delicious. I don't put it on anything. I just put my spoon in there and eat it. But I do have to be pretty careful with this because it's one of those that you could just keep eating and eating. But if you want to try something new, amazing, nice little snack. If you can control yourself. If not, I wouldn't even buy it because it's that bad. These are also for portion control, really amazing. Creamy Swiss Light is what we get from Costco, and they come in a big stack. And basically what they are is these little triangles. They're so cute, these Laughing Cow cheeses. And you just whip it open. Macros on this are going to be 1.5 grams of fat, 1 carb, 2 protein, 35 calories per triangle. And so if you just want something to snack on, like a lot of times I'll just chop up an apple and then I'll have 2 of those little cheeses, and it's kind of like this little apple and cheese snack. Usually late afternoon is when I'll have that. But those are really good if you're a dairy or cheese eater. Really fast source of protein are these grilled Mediterranean chicken skewers with chicken breast. I think the macros are on the other end of this. This is a Costco purchase. So anyway, they're just these chicken skewers on a stick, and you can grill them in like a frying pan, or you can microwave them. If you're in a hurry, you don't have a lot of time, just need to grab something quickly. It's just basically chicken breast on a stick. So Costco is where we got these. Costco tends to come through with a lot of this stuff. So if you don't shop at Costco, you should. Again, just the Fiber One brownies. This is what the box looks like. The macros on one brownie are 3 fat, 17 carb, and 1 gram of protein. Dietary fiber is 5 grams. If you have a sweet tooth, you have cravings, anything like that, and you kind of struggle with stuff like that while you're in a caloric deficit, this might be helpful to you, maybe not. I love them. My other go-to Fiber One source is the oats and chocolate. And this is like, I have this with breakfast. I love it. It's one of my favorites. My Quest bar, as I've already stated in other videos, S'mores Quest bar is my favorite right now. And if you're not eating Quest bars and you like protein bars, give these a shot. They're really good. I have to have them soft. And like I said, s'mores is my favorite right now. It used to be cookie dough, but this has become my favorite. I eat a lot of fruit, and I wanted to put this in there because people tend to freak out when they're dieting or cutting calories, and they think fruit is evil, and they have to cut it out, and it's like a special sugar, and it's gonna make you fat, and this whole thing. And I gotta reiterate the fact that berries are amazing. I eat fruit every single day. I typically blend the 3 of these in the morning in about 1.5 cups mixture, and this is just like candy to me. Like I have berries every single day, and if I don't have them, even when we travel, it's one of the first things we grab when we go to the grocery store. So I have to have them: blackberries, blueberries, and raspberries. Again, this is a Costco find, so we get pretty good, decent produce at Costco up here in Alaska. So anyway, awesome. The other thing you could do with the vanilla yogurt is you could mix in berries with that, so that would be a good protein carby thing. And second to last thing I wanted to show you, I found these at Target the other day, and again, for just that portion control type of thing where if you're cutting calories and you're in a deficit, this might be helpful to you, especially if you're one of those people who doesn't want to cook or you're in a hurry. 200 calories for this. This is a sausage, egg white, and cheddar. Egg white. Sausage, egg white, and cheddar. Like sandwich kind of thing. 6 grams of fat, 18 carbs, 16 protein, 200 calories, and it's on a multi-grain flatbread. These were pretty good. I definitely think they're a fair size. It's not like you're going to the restaurant to get a big cheeseburger or anything like that. But if you're in a hurry and your excuse for not eating breakfast is I don't have time, this would maybe save you some time. 1 minute and 45 seconds in the microwave. If you do have a little bit longer, you could maybe put it on the stove in a just low temperature, low heat frying pan and just heat it up that way. They do get a little watery, which could be kind of gross, but anyway, just something I wanted to try. I thought they were pretty good. I may not continue to buy them for a long period of time, but for every now and then, just try something new. That's the other thing too, is people get caught up and frustrated because they have to eat the same food and then they're bored. And don't let boredom or lack of creativity prevent you from achieving your fat loss goals. It's a really lame excuse. So play around with different varieties of carbohydrates, protein, and fat. You don't have to be restricted to just one thing every single day. Personally, I like to eat the same things every single day. I just enjoy it. I have a lot of my favorite foods, but if I find myself getting bored, I always have a list of protein foods, a list of carbohydrate foods, and a list of fat foods that I can swap out and substitute that are equal in caloric content, so I'm not freaking out going like, oh my gosh, I'm so bored, I'm just gonna give up. That's a really lame excuse to ditch your goals. So don't let that keep you from eating well and maintaining your caloric deficit and succeeding with your fat loss goals. Last thing I want to show you is the Smart Pop kettle corn. This is what we get. It's 100 calories, 1.5 grams of fat, 23 carbs, and 3 grams of protein. Like I said, their little bags are 100 calories, microwavable popcorn, 94% fat-free, whatever. So if you like to snack and you need a little salty crunch thing, this might be a good option for you. Nowadays they have things, they charge you a lot more for them because they're packaging them in, you know, small portions, but that becomes really convenient, even though it can be a little bit more expensive. But for those who, for myself, I do really well with portion control things. Like my brain just goes, okay, that's done. We're good to go. But if I have a big bag of something, like a bag of chips, and I'm mindlessly eating, I'll keep going with that. So, I mean, that's partially why portion controlled foods have been created, the 100-calorie snack foods and things like that, because they do help people to slow down a little bit and stop when they're finished with their 100-calorie packet of whatever. So if those types of things are helpful to you, I would definitely experiment with that. A couple of things I wanted to reiterate about being in a caloric deficit. When you're dieting or cutting calories, you're not necessarily going low carb. So for example, what I just showed you here, a lot of this was actually pretty high carb. Now it's relative to my goals, my current weight, and of course my goal weight. But I'm not eating paleo. I'm following an if it fits your macros way of eating. So flexible dieting is what it would be called, where I can eat whatever I want as long as it fits my specific fat, carb, protein goals. And that's going to be different for everybody depending on where they're at and their mindset. Some people can't do flexible dieting because it throws them off and derails them. But personally for me, this is what works. I do better with my workouts when I have a little bit more carbohydrate in my system. Lower carb dieting doesn't do great for me. Yes, the results happen, but I don't feel so good along the way. And with running involved in this process, I can't cut my carbohydrates too low. So that being said, whenever you're cutting calories, you have to keep in mind that when you're reducing your calories, you are eating for your future self. So for example, my next goal will be probably about 172.0. That's my goal weight for Saturday. And I've reduced my calories to accommodate reaching that specific goal, that body size, and so on and so forth. So as I reach 170.0, 168.0, I'm going to continue to slightly lower my calories in an effort to eat according to that future self. So that's why it's uncomfortable to cut calories and you get hungry and you get tired, because you're not eating to sustain this, you're eating to sustain this future body type or self. So consider that when you're cutting calories and you're if you hit moments where you're struggling mentally and physically, just know that your body will adjust as you slowly reduce calories, and you'll definitely you will hit a plateau and you will have to adjust again and again and again until you reach your goals. And then in which case you'll eventually bring calories back up. Anyway, I wanted to show you this to you guys really quickly. I hope it was helpful to you. Maybe you got some new ideas for food and snacks. If you have any questions, please let me know. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, like, share, and I will see you guys soon.